Good afternoon, you guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, whatever time you're watching this. Hello, it is your girl Bria Van Kooten, and welcome back to Discussion the Show. We are back with another and just like that review. We are on episode 9. We have one episode left to discuss after this. And yeah, let's talk about episode 9, y'all. Let's get into it.
To be or not to be, not.
Alright guys, so I got my little mimosa over here. We almost done. It's almost done. It's halfway there. I just made some lunch. I made some good ass shrimp pasta, and I was like, ooh, I want to make a little mimosa. We had some Ace of Spades in the fridge, so I was like, ooh, get some little orange juice, the Ace of Spades. Here we go. Let's get into episode 9, y'all. So the girls are at lunch. Miranda, Charlotte, and Carrie, they're at lunch. They are discussing Carrie's date. Charlotte's like, I'm so excited for your date, blah, blah, blah. Carrie is like, you know, it's not a date, it's the do-over, because we're doing over date 1 from us getting sick. They threw up all over each other at dinner, so this is like the do-over. So Miranda's like, way to get the romance out of it, because, you know, Carrie's just like, it's not a date. Like, we just doing this over, 2 of us meeting, blah, blah, blah. So then Miranda asked Charlotte and Carrie to come to the shelter that her and Naya have been working on to paint the shelter on Saturday. She's like, yeah, you guys, I want you guys to come and help me paint. Carrie tries to get her way out of it. She's like, I'm just gonna write a check. And Miranda's like, don't be that white woman that just writes a check. Like, come and paint. If I gotta paint, you gotta paint. Boom. Charlotte, of course, is like, yeah, I'm there. I'm going to go paint with you, and I'm going to bring the kids with me. And then in the same lunch, Charlotte tells the girls she isn't getting her period anymore. And she's real smug about it. She was like, yeah, because, you know, you guys didn't have your period before me. You know, now I'm joining the team. But I didn't have any of those symptoms that you guys had. Like, she's being real smug. The girls are, like, side-eyeing her. Then in the next scene, we see Carrie answering the door. It's Lizette, her downstairs neighbor, coming up to give Carrie some jewelry. She gave Carrie a ring. Like I said, she is a jewelry designer, which Carrie already Googled and looked her up when she snuck into her apartment to turn down the music. So she already saw that she was a jewelry designer. And so Lizette gives her the ring, and then she sees her wedding ring on the finger. She sees Carrie's wedding ring. She's like, oh, that's a nice ring. I didn't know you were married. I never saw him. And she's like, is it long distance? This was funny because I was like, oh, Carrie's like, yeah, kind of long distance. Like, I was like, girl, not long distance, child. So then Lizette's like, yeah, you know, trying to relate. Like, I remember I dated a guy that lived in blah, blah, blah. And Carrie's like, no, Lizette, it's not long distance. My husband died. And you could see, like, Lizette's like, ooh, yikes. So then Carrie, she's like playing with her wedding ring, and then you see her go and take out Big's wedding ring, and we see in the next scene, she taped her and Big's wedding ring onto her ring finger as she's going to the date with Peter. But she's only going to the date with Peter to tell him that she doesn't want to be on the date. She said she didn't want to text him, so she wanted to show up in person and tell him that she's not ready. So she has the ring on, and then Peter confides to her that he still listens to his wife's last voicemail. So they have like a little moment, and he's like, you know, this is the best rejection ever, because who pulls up to the date to say, I'm not coming on the date? Which he kind of figured, because when he pulled up, Carrie already had that look of like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. So he kind of read Carrie and was like, yeah, I can see we're not gonna be going to dinner tonight, which did not happen, because Carrie, the whole ring thing made her feel some type of way. And then, of course, she hasn't taken her ring off yet, so she's like, should I take my ring off? She don't know if she should, the etiquette of, should she keep wearing her ring, should she take it off? She don't know. So she's in this weird vibe. So we see Charlotte on the phone with Anthony. Anthony is in the hot fellas outfit that he makes the guys wear, like their uniform. And he's like, yeah, one of my hot fellas fell out, so I have to step in. And none of these people better not complain that I'm not a hot fella or whatever. So he's telling Charlotte, because Charlotte's having Shabbat dinner on Friday, and she invited Anthony, and he's telling Charlotte that he's gonna bring a date. Charlotte's like, yeah, that's fine. Is he appropriate for kids? Is he appropriate to be around kids? And then in that same time, you hear someone yell in the background, and it's Lily. She got her period, but while she was yelling, because for the next month she's gonna get her period during a pool party that she's supposed to go to, and she is upset. And Charlotte is like, well, either you missed the pool party or I can teach you how to use a tampon. And Lily's like, nope, nope, I'm not using a tampon. She refuses. And then we see Che and Miranda at dinner. They're chatting, and then a few seconds later, we see two of Che's fans go up and want to take a picture. And Miranda's like, you know, I'll take the picture for you. And one of the girls is like, are you a celebrity too? And Miranda's like, no, I'm just the girlfriend. And you can see Che kind of like look over like, no. Which was like you could feel the cringe moment. And we see Seema and Carrie waiting to get into a club. We find out that it's Seema's birthday. She hasn't mentioned it all night to Carrie. Carrie's like, wait, it's your birthday? And Seema's like, well, you know, I don't like to make a big fuss about my birthday, but I just know I want to get into this club because it's my birthday and I want to dance. I want to shake my ass. She didn't say that, but yeah, it's her birthday. She want to shake her ass, okay? So they go up to the bouncer at the door, and Carrie starts talking to him, you know, trying to get him to get into the club, let them into the club. Then Seema goes to like hand him money to bribe him. He's like, really? No. So they end up not getting into the club, but this outfit that Carrie had on, she had on this like floral one shoulder dress with this brown blazer over it. Super cute. Such a cute look. I saw it in the preview last week and I was like, oh, this is cute. And she had her hair slicked back in this bun with a part in the middle. So cute. So then they end up going to dinner instead of going to the club. They have dinner. They're eating. They make a toast. Seema's like, cheers to 54. You know, I thought I was going to have my man at 53. And then Carrie's like, well, cheers to the man that you're going to have at 54. And Seema's like, well, I didn't get the man, but at least I have a great friend like you. So it was almost like, oh, a little cute moment or whatever. So then we jump to the scene where it is Friday. It is Shabbat dinner. Charlotte is preparing dinner. And Lily comes in and was like, Mom, I'm ready. Charlotte's like, yeah, we're going to have dinner soon. Lily's like, no, I'm ready to use a tampon. Let's go right now before I change my mind because we need to do it right now. So in the middle of Shabbat dinner, and then boom, the doorbell rings. It's Anthony and his date. And then Charlotte lets them in. She's like, Harry, entertain them. And then we see Charlotte trying to help Lily put in the tampon. She's like meditating, sounded like the meditation lady that you listen to, like. Then before that, Anthony's date is like, oh, it's a Jewish dinner. You know, the Holocaust is a joke. And I was like, and Anthony goes, get out! Like, he starts yelling at him to get out. So, you know, that's over. That's done with. So then Lily finally gets the tampon in. And then we see the scene where Miranda goes to surprise Che. And Che is caught off guard. You can already see they're like, why are you here? And you know, Miranda's trying to be spontaneous, trying to be this new spontaneous Miranda. She's like, you know, if I was dating a guy, I would never just show up at his house. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I just showed up at your house. And Che's like, stop with these expectations of if you were a boy, if you were a girl, if you were this, if you were that. Let's just be, you know. But definitely Miranda during Sex in the City, that is not Miranda to just show up and be spontaneous and surprise anybody with no cookies. Like, Miranda is very skeptical. So then it is the day of the painting. It is painting day. We are painting the shelter. So we see Carrie brings Seema as her +1. And Seema is like, she was already like painting, but pulling up to the day on Saturday, she's like, yeah, I'm not painting. She went over and sat in this area and just started smoking. Carrie is in her overall. She's ready to paint. We see, they said, you know, you have to split up in 2. So Steve is like, well, I'm going to be with Carrie because she looks like she's ready. She's prepared. She has on her overall. So Carrie and Steve, they're in their area. Miranda's like, well, Brady, I'm going to be with you. And Brady's like, no, I'm going to be with my girlfriend. So then all of a sudden, a limo pulls up and I'm like, who's in this limo? But we see Charlotte pops out with her kids, and then we see Lisa pop out with her kids. So basically, Lisa says she was getting a car, but then a limo pulled up, so this is it. And we see Naya, she meets Carrie, and she meets Lisa, and she says that, you know, the food vendors thought that the event was next week, so they don't have any food. She tells Lisa this, and Lisa's like, well, I got you. She literally Lisa's that girl, okay? She's that plug. All of a sudden, like a scene or two later, we see just food trucks start pulling up. We see Ethiopian food. We see a truck that has like pizza where you make the pizza in the truck. Like, okay, I was like, Lisa, all right, I see you. She got the connection, so they was able to get some food. So then we see the scene where Herbert, Lisa's husband, is with his kids painting, and we see Andre and Naya. They're over there painting, and Andre's looking at Herbert and the kids, and he's like falling in love. Like, you know, he wants kids. He's really trying to please his wife and downgrade his urge for wanting kids, but he really, really wants kids. He confides in Naya that he can't play this off no more. He wants kids, and you can tell Naya's not really into it. Like, she doesn't care if she has kids or not. Like, if she does, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. But Andre is like, you could tell he's like, nah, I want kids. Like, so I don't know how this is gonna go, because in situations that I have seen, that doesn't really work out. And then she confides in Miranda about like the programming of, you know, you should be married at this time, have kids at this time, you know, this whole like programmed of what you see and what you should be living by. You know, they confide in that, which is so true. That's so real life, because, you know, you hear like, oh, he's supposed to be doing this, he's supposed to be doing that, he's supposed to have this job and do this, but that's not really where we are right now in life. You know, people are doing what they want to do and focusing on themselves. A lot of people are. Of course, there's still people that are getting married and having kids and that, but then there's a lot of people who are focusing on their careers and their life and their happiness versus the traditional, you know. Seema is sitting outside smoking, and this guy pulls up, which as soon as the guy pulled up, I was like, oop, this is about to be Seema's new man. Like, I already felt it. So he pulls up. He's like, excuse me, what's going on over here? And Seema's like, well, why did you just assume that I would know? He was like, well, you sitting here with the cigarette. You look like a boss. So, boss, what's going on? So I was like, yes, Seema, because she is a boss. She really is a boss. We stand, okay? So then we see, you know, something is definitely going to happen between them. We see it. And it's funny because, like I said, in the dinner with her and Carrie on her birthday, Carrie's like, well, cheers to your new man at 54. And look, boom, the manifestation, birthday wish, boom, she got her man. And he's a boss, too, because he owns the club. He was questioning her because he owned the club that was right there where they were. So he wanted to know what was going on. So, you know, boss meets boss. So then we see Steve and Carrie painting. And then Steve asks Carrie, how long has this been going on? How long has she known about Che and Miranda? What's going on? What can you tell me? And Carrie basically says it's not about being with women. It's just about being with Che. Because Steve asked, like, oh, Miranda's into women and all that. So, of course, Steve is like, he's still upset. Because he's like, wow, this just was sprung up on me out of nowhere. And I just want to know, like, where did this come from? You're her best friend. Like, tell me something. So then we see Carrie's backing up, and she ends up stepping in the paint, and she's going to go clean off the paint off of her shoes. And then the rings that she has taped, she still has Big and her ring taped by a band-aid on her finger. I don't know where she thought she gonna wash her hand and that was gonna stay on, but she's washing her hands, and Big's ring ends up falling into the drain. She screams for Steve. Steve comes. He opens the drain. He gets the ring out. And then we see later on in their scene together, Carrie's telling him about, like, moving on. And, you know, no, Carrie's talking about the rings. And he's like, I understand, because I'm never going to take my rings off till death do us part. I don't care what Miranda does. I'm never taking my ring off. And Steve is so sweet. Carrie tells him that. She's like, you're such a good guy. You're so sweet. Which it really is. Like, it's sad that to see, like, how they made his character. You can tell, obviously, he still wants to be with Miranda. He's just confused as what's going on. And Carrie's like, no, you can't be that way. You have to go move on and find your happiness and, you know, date other women. You might find someone else that you really love. And that kind of sparks something in Carrie, because then I'm jumping, but we see her go to text Peter and tell him, you know, let's go for round 3, strike 3. So she's messaging him to go on another date. So her saying that to Steve kind of sparked something in her to, like, oh no, I do need to move on, or like attempt to move on. So we shall see. I'm sure episode 10 we're gonna see them actually go out and go on a second date. So we shall see. So then going back, because I just jumped, Lily cannot find the tampon string, so she goes to Charlotte. She's like, Mom, I can't find the tampon string. She finally finds the tampon string, and then Charlotte ends up getting her period, which is, Miranda calls it a flash period, which you are going through menopause, but randomly you'll just get your period, and that's what happens to Charlotte. And of course, she would be wearing a white jumpsuit, and I was like, the day you were in a white jumpsuit, this is what happens, the blood. And that, you see how the period is? Like, it will really fuck with you like that. Like, you're good, and then you're wearing white, and then boom. So then the last scene of the episode, we see Carrie and Seema go out to Club Z, which is Seema's new guy friend's club. They go to his club, and he's at the door. He's like, hey boss, welcome in. And then Carrie, again, her outfit was super, super cute. She's wearing like this silky satin blue, like a dark blue navy jumpsuit, bodysuit, and with this magenta blazer over it. Super cute. I love the color contrast with this chain detailing. Super cute. Hair pulled up in a bun. Super, super cute. So they go into Club Z, and just like that, I was up for a dance. So they finally got to go into the club. They finally got to go dance. Seema finally gets to go shake her ass, and she might have a potential new man in her life. So that's cute or whatever. Guys, if you watch episode 9, definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for the final episode review next Thursday. I will be back with another one, so stay tuned for that one. Definitely like this video. Like I said, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel to see more. We have much more for the discussion, so stay tuned for that. And of course, follow me on my social medias at Bria Van Kooten, my personal Instagram, and at Discussion the Show, my other Instagram. Definitely follow. I will see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing weekend. Peace. Love.